Good morning. This is School Bus Talk. I'm going on YouTube Live. I'll be back in a few minutes. I got to go out and do an external check of this bus, and then we'll get going and have a little chat. Take care, bro. All right, so my external check is done. Let's fire up this bus and see if we can get her started. And we got power. We got power. We got lights. We got hazard lights. Two-way radio on. Master switch on. Yellow amber lights. All right, I'll be back. I got to go do my first external check of the bus. I'm sorry. This is my first light check. I do 3 light checks. The first walk around is done. Okay, so the first light check walk around is done. So now we're going to do the red lights, high beams, left blinker. I'll take you on this trip so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so that was what I call the red light check. And we only have one more external walk. But for this one, you got to turn off the headlights. We go to the right turn signal. We turn off the red flashing lights, turn off the master switch, and I will set the brakes, check the brake lights. All right, so the external check of the bus is all done. It's I call it the 4 walk around. All the external lights have been checked on the bus. Check the oil. Bus is starting and warming up. Now I do my internal check of the bus. What I do on the internal check is I'm just making sure all the emergency exits are clear, that the seat belts look good, checking all the emergency exits, making sure there's no garbage or trash on the floors. I swept yesterday. I always swept the end of every day. All the seat belts look good. Check this emergency exit back here. It's working. So I look at my overhead hatches, make sure they're clear. Move forward. Everything looks good on the bus. I always try to be really careful to leave the bus the way nice and ready to go at the end of every day. All right, so that's called the emergency release. It's, you can see it. That allows me to open the door without the air system in an emergency. Close that back up. So right now, all the internal and external checks of the bus are done. So all the internal, external. Now I got to do is what's called the brake inspection. And I'm going to take off these gloves and don't need the headlamp anymore. It's still pretty dark here. It's the last day of January, and it is an important day today, January 31st. Important day. It is a Friday. Thank God it's Friday. But this is also the 100th day of the 2024-2025 academic year. So we are 100 days. That means we got about 80 days left to end the school year. So we're over halfway. So that's why I'm going live. Celebrate with all my YouTube community out there. The 100th day of school. And as I say, it's still pretty dark. End of January. Sun is coming up a little bit earlier in the morning, but it's still pretty dark. It's only about 36 days from the shortest day of the year. So it's early here. We call it Oh Dark Stupid. So what I do is pump down. I'm checking the air. It's called the air governor. It regulates the air pressure in the air brake system. You pump it down. You're checking for the cut in and the cut out. You want it to cut in at 90 and cut out at 120. So you may not be able to hear this, but I'm listening for a loud hiss sound. If you've ever been parked next to a bus, the engine's running and you hear that psh, that just indicates that the air compressor is filled up. There it is. I can hear it. All right. So we have completed the cut in, cut out. Now the next test, I got to turn the bus off Key back in auxiliary. Watch the components come back up. Tap the gauges. Now I'm going to go for 1 minute. This is called the static test. I'm going to go for 1 minute watching those air gauges on the brakes and see that they don't move. So we're going to go sit here for 1 minute, and while I'm waiting, I'm just going to start filling out paperwork, because one part of being a school bus driver is there is a ton of paperwork. You got to fill out this pink form here every day showing that you've inspected the bus. Now over here is the mechanic's inspection tag. This bus needs to be inspected every 45 days. And to make sure it's sound and safe. And you have to write that date on the form. So 100th day of school. It's really a big deal. I mean, we are heading for summer vacation. Still got a lot of school to go. Kids have a lot of learning left to do in this school year. But, we're over halfway done. That's why it's so important. 100 is a big, kind of a big number. And so always make sure that we remember the 100th day of school. So that's been over a minute. So now I do what's called the applied test. In this test, I put my foot on the service brake and hold it. I'm listening for the pops of the anti-lock system. There they go. I can hear them. I don't know if you can hear them over this at home or on YouTube Live, but air brake, the anti-lock system pops, and then you set the parking brake. I'll sometimes call this a spring brake as well. And so this is called the applied test because all the brakes are applied. And now we wait 1 minute again and we watch the air pressure gauges. And this is just to check if the brakes are applied fully, that there's no leaks in the air brake system. So we'll wait another minute. I got more paperwork to do. So I'll keep track of my hours right here. I'll keep a diary of my hours. I'll fill out here pretty soon since it's Friday. I'll fill out we do timesheets here. Other outfits I've worked for, I've done time clocks. They do timesheets here. I kind of prefer time, clocking in, clocking out. Got the new swipe cards and stuff. It's really easier. It's done here at the end of every week. You got to fill out a timesheet. But it all depends on what outfit you work for. I personally prefer actually having a clock in a central location where the employees can go in and out. It's easier than I have to keep a diary now, just so that there's never any problems. But I like keeping track of my hours on my own diary, so that when I fill out the form, I can do it all at one time. So that looks pretty good. Okay, the applied test is passed. All right, so now we test what's called the emergency braking system. These buses are made with super safe air braking systems. There's actually two air braking systems. There's one in the forward and there's one in the rear, and then they have what's called a double check valve. So if one system fails, the bus should be able to stop in an emergency with the other system, so it's redundant. So we're going to drain the front tank. I'm watching it, making sure that tank comes down. At 60 psi, I should hear an audible alarm. There it is. And a light comes on the dash showing that the tank is losing pressure. What we're doing is simulating a failure of the air braking system every day when you check out the bus. And school buses are really designed to be ultra safe because we're hauling precious cargo, all these kids to school. And that's really what I do on this channel, School Bus Talk, is I talk about everything having to do with school buses, but I'm focused on safely getting kids to and from school, because that's how we get the kids educated so they can learn. They got to get to school, and we got to do it safely. All right, so the front air brake system passed, so now I rev up the engine and build up air pressure again. It takes building back up the air pressure takes a little while, so I can start filling out some more paperwork until the air pressure system is ready. And here's another form I got to fill out. This is the weekly timesheet. I think we talked about that already. I can start filling this out since it's Friday. And I may not finish it before we do the next breaks, but I can start filling it out. That's why I keep a diary of my hours. So now that I just quickly can go through and I don't have to remember anything. A lot of drivers just keep the form and fill it out every day. I just fill it all out at once. It's just the way I choose to do things. There's lots of ways to solve problems in the world, and it's just the way I do it. Now, most important thing, you got to put your name on your payroll sheet. It surprises me. There's people that forget to put their names. Seems like something we learned from elementary school. Put your names on your homework. But there's still people that are adults that forget to put their names on paperwork. Extra run. Okay. So I got lots of that filled out, but I still got some to go. But I heard the air pressure, the air brake system is back up to pressure, 120 psi. So I'm going to shut it down. Put the key back in auxiliary. Watch the air pressure tanks gauges come back up. And now we're going to do the rear tank. I choose to do the rear tank second. Do the front first, rear tank second. It's just preference. Okay, so I got audible alarm and the red light on the dash at 60 psi. Let's just keep running this down a little bit. Running it down, running it down, running it down. Okay. Kind of run it all the way down, close to zero. When it stops hissing. All right, that sounds good. You put the bus in gear. You look around. It's really dark, so you want to make sure you don't have any drivers moving around the yard. Just let the bus roll forward a little bit and push on the brake. If the bus stops, you know the emergency braking system is working. So at this point, this bus is pretty much fully checked out. I will put at this point, I'll turn on the high idle system and start the heat on the bus. So there's the heat pump, fans. I won't turn this forward fan on yet so that it might make a lot of noise for us. And still got a little bit more paperwork to fill out now. Then I finish that. You might start hearing some two-way radio chatter as all the other bus drivers are starting to come into the yard and check out their buses. Everybody will call into the dispatcher, make sure their radios are working. Oh, I do have to check the horns. Horns are all working. That's a fun check to do. Get the honk the horn. This bus has an air horn. It's really loud. A lot of buses don't have air horns. They just have the electric horn. But this bus has got an air horn. A little bit more about this bus. This is a Bluebird bus. It's called a Type 1 Transit. I forget the certificate. It was, I'm looking at the certificate. It was built in 2017, and it's rated for 81 passengers. So that's a pretty big bus. Okay. For everybody watching, it looks like I might have one person out there watching. But if you got any questions, I can see the comments right now. So if anybody's out there and got any questions, please just send them through. Again, my name is Paul. This is School Bus Talk. I got a regular channel. I got about 600, almost 600, and 670 subscribers. I have about 54 videos, and I've done a fair amount of shorts. And so I'm just going live for. Somebody asked me what's your name. My name is Paul. Okay, and back to my channel, School Bus Talk. So I'm just going live. It's the 100th day of school. So I'm going to go out now and got this bus starting to warm up. I'm going to wash the windshield. So I'll turn the camera so you can see me cleaning the bus. So, yeah, I think you can probably hear me on this little mic. What I'm doing here is cleaning the bus. I like a real clean windshield. Now, I got some dirt on it yesterday. We had kind of some, so I just make sure I clean it. A lot of drivers just use their windshield wipers to clean the windshield, and I think they need to be done by hand. Windshield wipers don't really give a really good clean job. Just my personal opinion, my preference. So I clean the windshield every day. So with that, I'm going to probably sign off to this YouTube live here. I hope, I don't know how many people have joined us. It doesn't look like we have anybody right now. So I've been on for about 25 minutes. So I'll give anybody if they got any questions. But I don't think I'm having too much luck today. But it was the 100th day of school. I'm Paul at School Bus Talk. Check out my channel. Got a lot of good videos. If you're interested in school bus driving, please check out my channel and like and subscribe. So I'm signing off. Thanks a lot for joining me.